Hello, everybody. It's May the 14th. It's Thursday. I'm down here in Texas. As I currently speak, it is raining down here in Texas. It is currently 12:21 p.m. here, which would be 1:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in my home state of North Carolina, where I'm from. So all of those in North Carolina, hello, and hope you're watching and enjoying yourself. Um, the first thing I want to talk about is I post this on my other page, which I've not posted on in a long time, Our Country State. I started that a while back, basically to talk about current events, politics, things like that that's going on. But this morning I had a conversation, kind of a conversation with one of our local people in the Dunn area and stuff like that about this new COVID-19, I guess the second portion of the spending bill they're coming out with for relief and stuff like that to help families. And there's some mention about some student loan forgiveness in that. Now, I don't believe in the student loan forgiveness because those people have got to pay for their education. They went to school. There were people paid for their education, professors and such, and therefore they need to pay for the services. Now, what I do agree with is having a lower interest rate, maybe 0.5%, 1%, something to make it easier to pay that loan back than what the current standard is. I mean, there's no sense of someone having to pay a high percentage rate or take 25 or 30 years to pay back their financial aid or college debts as they try to raise their families and such and get on with their lives. In no way, shape, or form should a college education keep you poor. You go to school for one reason, and that's for one, to help yourself mentally, to educate yourself, to make yourself a better rounded person, but also to do better in your life, because we're all taught to make more money, to do better in your life, you have to get that college education. Of course, that's pushed by the universities and colleges a lot more than you know than most people say. Now, saying that, there are other jobs you can get. Like you can go to a community college, you can get a good job, you can be a welder, a truck driver, get into the trade schools, electricians, things like that, plumbing, and make a tremendous amount of money, especially versus on the cost of that education. Now, saying that also, why cannot, or why can, or why can't the state systems, the community college systems, do bachelor's and master's degrees? Those people are just as qualified to teach these students. The state has, curriculums and stuff like that, or there's guidelines and stuff for you to get this degree. You got to do these subjects, and when you do these subjects, you take the test. Now, even saying that, let's make it even cheaper. The person buys the book, or maybe does an online book, like through an iPad or computer. Therefore, they pay a lower fee for that. Maybe only $25 or $50 versus $200 for the book. Then, when they get finished with that book, they have a state exam. Either they go to a testing site, and you can have one per county at a community college where they can go in, take that state exam, maybe pay $50 or $100 to take the state exam for that curriculum or that particular course. And in a lot of cases, they may take 3 or 4 courses, so it may cost them, $200 to $400 to take the state exams. Maybe only cost them $150, $200 for all the different courses they will take for a semester. And when they do that, then they're finished with that semester or that quarter, whatever you want to call it, and they just move on to the next semester. Once they do that, now let's say they take 7 courses in a semester. They finish their degree faster. Why should it cost $40,000 a year or $25,000 a year for an education? It shouldn't cost that much. The common person cannot afford $25,000 or $40,000 a year and then get out and get a job where they're making $40,000 or $50,000 a year, and they're paying $40,000 a year or $25,000 a year for that same education. Because once you think about it, if they get out making $40,000 or $50,000 a year, how much are they actually taking home after taxes? Hardly any. And if they've got a family, they get married and got kids, they only have a few $100, about $400 or $500 left over, maybe, after they pay all their bills, because they got a mortgage or rent, they got cars because they got to have a car. They got other bills, they got food, things like that, electricity, whatever. You all know what the bills are. So coming together on this, I'd like to know your opinion on it. Okay, what is your opinion on this? Should the system be revamped? Should we continue to pay, or the college students continue to pay $25,000 or $40,000 a year just so they have brick pavers for their sidewalks, or they build these nice fancy buildings with all these nice big decorations and stuff like that? Or paying professors, you know, $100,000 or $200,000 a year to basically teach out of a book they can read for $50 or $100 themselves. If you learn better that way, that professor, they can record a video. If they want video tutorial, they can pay for a video tutorial, $5, $10 for that video class. Therefore, the professors still make their money. They probably make more money because then they can do it across the country, open it up to more people and sell it on their YouTube channel or sell it through some type of video system. I don't know. But there's got to be a way out there where it's cheaper for these students to take classes. It's ridiculous. So as I discussed earlier, this was talked about on Facebook earlier with a friend of mine. You know, I'm a conservative. Most people probably know that. I consider myself a Republican. Don't bash me because, you know, I say that, but, you know, I'm a conservative. I believe most people should keep the taxes and stuff that they're paying out, should stay at home with them to support their families. And those that's able to work should go to work to support their families. What's wrong with that? That's how this country was built. It was built by people that went out and worked for what they wanted. We shouldn't punish those that go out there and make millions of dollars or even billions of dollars a year by charging them a high amount of taxes. You know, there's other videos I'll do on this, on different subjects and stuff coming in the next few weeks and stuff. But the first one I want to do is education. Why should it cost so much for education? If we've learned anything during COVID-19, this coronavirus pandemic, we have learned that you can do school from home. Everything can be done from home. Instead of spending $25,000 or $40,000 a year, maybe they can spend it on their internet service, a decent computer, okay, as part of their student loan package. You know, who knows? And only pay 0.5% or 1% in actual interest instead of paying 25 or 30 years for that loan. Have it paid off a lot sooner than that. Have programs where they can pay it off a lot sooner than that. Don't punish these people for wanting an education and making them broke all of their life until they retire. That's not right. People go to school to enrich their lives, enrich their wallets, enrich their families. Stop keeping people poor. This system is set up in a way where they target the poor people, all people, make them get these big student loans, and they keep them poor all their life. How's that right? It's not right. So the people, you can change this. Call your Congress people, call your senators. Tell them you want something done in your state. Call your U.S. Congress people, your U.S. senators. Something's got to change. There's no reason why this day and age with technology the way it is, why anybody should be doing their school in a college or university setting, unless they just want to. Most people probably wouldn't go like that. You have a few people that want to party and experience the university setting. Fine, let them go and spend that money. If mom and daddy's got $25,000 or $40,000 a year to send them, that's fine. Hallelujah. But for the rest of the people out there, the average American, the middle class worker, and those below the middle class that don't have that money, make it easier for them to become a college student. Forget these tests they got to take and stuff like that to even get into the university. If they're willing to pay and do the subject material, who cares what their test score is for the SAT? If they can pass the exams and pass the test, they deserve to have the degree. That's all I'm saying. So comment below. If you'd like to be added to my page, Our Country State, that's fine. Hit like and stuff, and I'll try to get you on and stuff when I see you pop on. Just remember the rules, folks. The rules are this. Do not insult someone. By insult, I mean don't call them names. Very derogatory names. Don't do that. Don't call conservatives racist. Don't call liberals idiots. You can disagree with their ideas. That's fine. And I've been guilty of calling people names in the past myself. And I may do it myself. I slip up. I guess I'll have to kick myself out, or I'll do a video apology. But don't really, truthfully, guys, don't get overdone with this or overboard with the comments and stuff like that. Post your opinions. If someone posts something that disagrees with you and you want to debate it, but don't let it get out of control. We can all debate this and do it in such a good way. I think most of us can agree, though, that the education system needs to be revamped. Even our public system needs to be revamped. Hopefully, a lot of us get away from the Common Core stuff that was going on. It was a disaster for the kids. This No Child Left Behind thing is a disaster also. Instead of teaching kids like they need to be taught, they're just passing them through. And as they become adults, we get adults that can't read and write properly, that can't do basic mathematics, and that's not right. Every child needs to be taught basic math, reading and writing capabilities, proper grammar, proper spelling. And with today's world with Google and stuff like that, there's no reason to really misspell a word unless you're just typing fast like I do sometimes. But again, education is key to everything. We were a leader in education at one time in the industries and stuff and technology. Now we're not. We need to get back to that. So math, sciences, everything like that needs to be done better in this country than what it has been. So I say to you, let's speak to our Congress people, our senators, let's get this thing under control. Let's try to have them do something with the community college system to allow this to happen, or with a state structured system where you basically go in, you download the book that's needed for the curriculum, you do everything that's required by the state, you take the state exam, and at the community college level and their testing facilities, or like they do for life insurance license like I've got, when you go in, they separate you. It's a quiet room. You put on headphones. There's no cheating allowed. They give you a piece of paper and a pen when you sit down. So if you need to write something down, you can write down equations and stuff like that, whatever you need to do. And then you take your state exam. You pass it or fail it. And as long as you make the minimum requirements, stuff like that, you get credit for that course. And then you move on to the next one until you finish your degree. How does that sound, folks? Thank you for watching. Leave your comments below. If there's any topics you want to discuss, also leave that below in the comments or send me a message and we'll bring that up later on and stuff like that. And maybe even invite some people on to a Zoom call live that I can record and post, and we can have actually a live debate some evening, maybe on the weekends or on Mondays. We can do a live debate and talk about subjects and stuff like that on Zoom calls. I prefer, if you're doing Zoom, to do a video chat like this so people see who you are. Now, for some reason, some of you might not be able to do that. I understand, because of jobs and things like that. We can still talk, have a conversation, change your name to where it needs to be changed, where nobody knows who you are. I prefer not to be anonymous, but I understand some people's got jobs and stuff like that that may require them to do that, because regardless of your First Amendment right to freedom of speech, some jobs, especially those that are police officers, understand this. You can't say anything political, because if you do, sometimes people get upset and want to complain to your bosses. It happens. So I know. So, all right, guys, God bless. God bless America. And hope to see you some comments below. Thank you.